Yeah. I did a voice that time. I like it. It's different voicings. That's a music term.
Yeah, voicing. Yeah, there we go. Musical term, connecting it all together. And it's also kind of frightening and fun for me to just never know who I'm getting on the side, you know?
You never know. You never know. That's the surprises you get here on the Grand Line Tourist. Which is what?
Oh!
We are! Look at that! Stuck it in real quick.
Look, bam. Oh, this was a wonderful little recognition of a look between us across the internet, letting everybody know that I am going to tell us what the Grand Line Tourist is. It is a chapter-by-chapter examining or re-examining of Eiichiro Oda's One Piece. I am doing the examining for the very first time. I'm your tourist, Jacob, and sitting across from me, room slightly differently adjusted from the last time. It's throwing me off. Who's over there? Who's our tour guide?
I am your tour guide. I am Eric Sivu. I have my, you guys know my credentials already. I have a half-finished maritime law degree, a fully finished certification that I got from the University of Phoenix to be leading this tour. Super excited to be here with you all today. Ichiro Oda is a good friend of mine. Well, at least I assume we're good friends for how much money I've spent on One Piece and the One Piece in the various One Piece products that I have. Oh no, I dropped my microphone. This is one of those things. You can tell we've been we took a break. This is how it's happening.
We took a break, but you know what? We got an exciting section to start off the podcast today because we have a letter report. We have letters. We have had a good write-in from none other than one of our favorite tourist and I don't know, more of a tour guide, really. Probably
he's more
Christian
of a tour guide. Yeah,
more of a tour guide. Yeah. No, but he's taking the tour again. Letting you lead us astray or into all the nooks and crannies that you might lead us into. But let me go ahead and read what he has here. In Cruel Fortune, you guys talk about puns, and I think manga is one of the punniest mediums. Back when we were reading free amateur translations online, Eric can explain more about this. There were always translator notes to explain a pun. A lot of food puns. Also, you guys were saying how pancake was a weird choice. My translation didn't say that word at all. What part was that in? And so I'm just going to go ahead and answer that last question first. And so this was in that chapter. We have that was close. This is serious. If he gets me with one of those cat whammies, I'll be a pirate-flavored pancake. So this was
about Butchie.
Oh, Butchie, yeah, kind of doing the ground pound. Yeah. And just for fun, we're kind of getting a little bit into translation and how you absorb, manga when it's coming from Japan to America. I just wanted to go ahead and I did pull up Stephen Paul's translation of that same little section. And we have, so this is Zoro talking. So before he said, that was close, this is serious. If he gets me with one of those cat whammies, I'll be a pirate-flavored pancake. And different translation, that was close. Holy crap. If he gets me even once with that, all the bones in my body will be crushed to pieces.
Oh wow, that's like completely different.
No, it's interesting. I think
maybe it's you think it's a shift in like audience perception, right? Like Viz Media at the beginning of when this was written back in like I don't know by this point 99 or 98 was like this is for kids. This is more for kids. Like Stephen Paul literally he added the word crap first off, and then also he added like it's just more. The pun is taken out because he wants more it's like geared towards more like maybe teenagers.
I think it's my guess about what it's going to be is I bet it's going to be the translator's ethic. That's not the right word. I want to say the translator's mindset about what they're doing. My guess here is that I think Stephen Paul is trying to be more correct to the original. And I think Viz Media's choice was to be more interesting to what is going on. You know what I mean? Like playing with the words a little more, as long as they get the spirit across. If they can get more oomph out of it, I think they're going for it. Well, I think Stephen Paul, we'll have to, if we look at some more translations later, maybe we can find out if that's true. If he's just trying to stay a little bit closer to the text itself that he originally read, right? And not adding or taking away anything. So, no, that's very interesting. And I think when he said you can explain about free amateur translations, to some extent, I think that's kind of almost what I pulled up, even though mine's not quite as amateur. I think it was before Stephen Paul was signed on. But you can, I guess when you read manga generally, you might get translations of it that are not done officially, just by other people
yeah,
online, right?
there's people who can get the scans really early and they just translate quickly. So you could probably get it within like whenever Viz Media drops it, like officially Shonen Jump, like whenever Shonen Jump drops it. The Japanese version, there's teams who go into it and do it really fast. And back in college, when you don't have any money, you would try your best to find one of these amateur translations, and that's how you get very, very different things. Kind of like, I mean, like even between, it's so funny. We're talking about the current translator, who I don't know the name of. Do we have the name of this current translator technically for these chapters right now?
Oh no, I don't have it. I didn't write it down, but you're right. Yeah, I don't know who Viz used to have.
I wonder if Stephen Paul started like that, and now he became like, that's the name that we know because that's the guy who's currently doing One Piece right now, right?
Yeah.
Right now in 2020, 1,000+ chapters later, like he's the guy doing the translations now. So obviously,
yeah, and I don't even know if Stephen Paul would like these translations that he put up a long time ago. I don't even know if he would stand by them today.
Right.
He might say, "Oh
exactly.
yeah, my mindset when I was doing it back then was a little different. I actually would have done it this way." But it was just, he's a name we know. I know where to get those translations, so it's interesting to pull them up.
It's definitely like we talked about it before. We never knew translating could be an art. Like there's definitely something about localization that's very, very interesting. I think in retrospect and just overall, I think.
Yeah, and so we have Christian to thank for letting us dive into this interesting little discussion. And yeah, I think he's right that manga is particularly punny, and maybe comics in general. Like I'm just thinking of like really weird superhero puns. They kind of abound in the medium, right? I guess they work really well for some reason in comics. I think the cringiness of puns goes down, and the puzzle and the enjoyment in the head goes up in the written medium on the page. I guess when you say them out loud and more. The closer you get to like live action, like real life, me and you saying puns, I think the effect is not as good.
The effect goes away.
So
Well, I get that.
It's the effect doesn't go away, but it does. We just know puns is a cringe. In real life, puns are cringy, and in comic book life and manga, I feel like they are, a little more
also,
part and parcel with the medium.
What a good way to establish some character traits. The Meow Band brothers talking cat puns. Yeah, because they're cat themed, apparently, right?
Yeah.
To the nth degree.
Yeah.
So, what can I say? It's a good way of saying, like, look what these characters are. I understand them now. They're cat people.
Yeah. No, and I did have one more thing to share with you before we jump on to our regularly scheduled itinerary. I did go to my local comic store and look for a Shonen Jump magazine, and I just want to let you know, doing a little bit more research, they don't make them anymore. Viz Media used to have Shonen Jump translated, into like English, and you could pick them up. Yeah.
What?
And well, I think you might still be able to get them online. I don't think they publish them anymore.
They don't print them, right?
So I wanted to go look at them because I thought it would have been really cool to just like get one and just see like a bunch of manga in one magazine ready to go. I don't know if any other publisher has like taken up the gauntlet and done their own thing of it, but I think it's kind of all gone a little bit digital. Yeah, I was a little sad when I went to go check it out. I just out of curiosity more than anything else.
No, I get that. You know what we should do next, and this might be something we can both keep on our mind. We should try to see if certain issues of the Shonen Jump magazine are worth money. You know how like certain issues of comics are worth money? I wonder when big things... Yeah.
No, like this is a moment for Luffy that's really exciting, right? Like maybe everyone's favorite Gum Gum attack gets done for the first time, and it's like, oh, if you have the Shonen Jump that contains that one.
Right. Yeah, but I don't know. I don't know if that's the same thing as over here, because I imagine Shonen Jumps are probably more vastly printed, but I don't know.
Yeah.
No.
That's a good question.
Yeah. All right. Are you ready to read this?
And with that, yes, I'm ready to read the itinerary for Chapter 33, The Creeping Cat. We start out with Captain Kuro has just appeared on the beach. It's pretty wild. Everyone, just stops to look at him, right? That's just kind of the effect he has. And he starts mocking the Pirates of the Black Cat. And that offends a particular group of brothers, the Meow Man brothers, the Butchie and Siam. They take particular offense to being called feeble, and they decide to mutiny, which has some logic to it since, Kuro might just kill everyone anyway.
Well, yeah, he was going to do it. He said he was going to do it.
But they go and challenge the captain himself, and we learn of Captain Kuro's pussyfoot maneuver, which basically, as far as I can tell, allows him to just like move without being detected in a way that's like instantaneous, which does make it seem like it would be very difficult to fight.
Yes.
And so he easily outmaneuvers the Meow Band brothers. We learn the truth behind why he pushes up the glasses with, that weird part of the back of his palm, and that's to avoid scratching his face, because he has these epic-sized cat claws, which we'll get to in a minute. With more about those. But, the Meow Band brothers, they're ultimately given, along with all the rest of the crew, 5 minutes to sort everything out. Captain Kuro is kind of saying, yeah, you know what? I won't kill you if you can deal with everything in the next 5 minutes. So they're on a timer, and they focus on Zoro, who they, think that they can, we'll deal with Zoro really quick, right? We were kind of doing good before. But this time, Nami, boom, kicks her swords over to Zoro, who now has 3 swords, like he's meant to have. Because he knows the 3-sword technique. He uses his trademark Tiger Hunt, trademarked instantly right here, to deal the brothers, deal with them all in one blow. However, Butchie, being, a little bit more bulbous than usual, his blubber saved him, and he's getting back up to fight again. But this time, he's hypnotized and has abs, so he's quite frightening.
That's what happens when you get hypnotized. That's why I always go to hypnotist every other Wednesday.
Yeah, that's when you line up the gym with the hypnotist scheduling, and things work out really well for you.
Yep.
That's why you can see, check out my lats. I don't know.
Yeah. You can totally see them over this podcast, this audio.
Oh, yeah,
this
yeah.
audio art form. Yep.
So, Nami, though, isn't done helping completely. She decides to go and get to Luffy because she sees things not working out. This is, Butchie, we were talking earlier about his pancake ability and Zoro being kind of a little bit afraid of that. So she's seeing some writing on the wall. She goes to Luffy and is attempting to wake him up by just, maybe thrusting her heeled boot foot into his face.
That's the thing. Step on him, wake him up.
Yeah. And ultimately, we're left on a cliffhanger where Django has thrown the small little disc that he uses to hypnotize people right at Nami as she's attempting to wake up Luffy, and that's a lot that happened, a lot of action. But there we go. That's the itinerary for the Creeping Cat.
Yeah, man. I think you did such a good job. Good job, Jacob. It sounded good. It went really well.
I'm just modeling my tour guide.
Oh no, I get more. I do a lot more of this. Exactly what I'm doing here. A lot of ums and filler words and filler noises. Before we get into the thing, I have to say these cover pages are starting to get more and more elaborate. They're just so much fun.
Oh yes. Yeah. This one's the airplane one, right?
Yeah, there's the airplane one with him riding on an ape. Which is it? A King Kong reference? Where are we getting at? Well,
it's got to be a King Kong reference. It definitely is, right? Because that is actually like one of the more famous scenes with King Kong is towards the end when he's on the tower, kind of swiping at airplanes.
My other new thing, and I think maybe we can start tracking on this podcast, is like all the written text in his cover pages. Yeah. I wonder what they mean. Like this one's saying what, happy victory? You think maybe that's where that's going? Who's in that plane?
I want to say that's got just by process of elimination. I think it's Nami, right?
Yeah, that's Nami.
Kind of looking cool with sunglasses, because I feel like we got Luffy on the back of the gorilla.
That is.
We
Nami.
have Zoro in the plane that's mainly featured. I think Nami over there in Happy Victory on her plane.
Because she's also. I had to zoom in, but she's holding a bag of treasure.
Oh, it's definitely Nami then. No, because that's funny. I almost glanced. When your brain can't identify something, it kind of just sometimes takes it away. And this is another example of just slow down, look close, and
so cool,
Eiichiro
man.
Oda is going to reward you with a little bit of a tidbit that builds your character.
Yeah, what a fun little. He always has so much fun with these things. Like I always such a joy to watch. Sometimes like One Piece is the one manga really that I can think of that does these cover things still. And every time sometimes you just look at these cover pages, you're like, wow, it's so good.
Yeah,
he's so imaginative. There's so much fun little details in all these things. Let's jump into it. You mentioned the big thing, which was the pussyfoot maneuver. He's out. This is Captain Kuro. This is his fight. Did this weapon pay off for you? I know a few chapters ago I was asking you like, what's in the bag? What do you think he's carrying?
Oh yeah, okay. Oh my goodness. This is actually, the way you asked this question is revealing what I believe I have now missed. What was in the bag? Were the claws in the bag?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Okay, because the first thing I was going to ask you of this chapter, I was going to say, are the claws a part of Kuro? Like, can he grow them at will? Is kind of what I was. You know what got me also confused is just a little bit of the pushing the glasses up. That's I guess to make it make sense. It's a habit he's developed because he's so used to wearing the claws.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. No, I was I was for some reason imagining that at will he has the power to choose to grow them. I was a little confused about the bag that they did show kind of getting cut open, right?
Yep.
No, and the thing is, we've had such interesting wild characters with like Buggy, whose hands like fly around and stuff. So I you know, my mind, I'm allowing it to expand in this world of One Piece, but this is actually just pretty down to earth. Makes sense. You're right. They're in the bag. How is it as a payoff? I don't know. I think like his ability to move without being detected is almost more impressive, you know? You know, I want to say I'm always impressed. Even the things that might seem a little like not as cool at first wind up being kind of cool. Like I'm just picturing when he's holding Butchie and Siam and he's like using the thumbs to like hold the knife at both their necks just while having their arms out. It's cool. I don't deny that it's cool. And like basically, I do find it interesting. I just think ultimately my brain isn't as excited about, you know, gloves with claws.
Right.
Especially since I think a little bit Siam has those kind of too. So it's like almost like a little bit of a repeaty sort of thing going on.
Like kind of showing it off. But I just think his devotion to this hand, like the way he moves up his thing.
No, Kuro as a character has me far more excited than Kuro's claws, is what I guess I'm getting. Like, it's his maniacal nature is... Yeah. He pulls it off, you know. It wouldn't matter what was in the bag. You know, Kuro's still a frightening dude.
Yeah, and I think what's cool about it is I think the first time we meet the butler, and we have to go back and look at maybe the frame or everything, but I think the first thing we see him do is push up all weird like that with his
it definitely comes in fast,
wrist, right? And it's one of those things where like it's such a fun little reminder, and obviously this is still a medium geared towards, you know, kids. We have the lovely exposition here by Django by saying, like, you know, he's still frightening. The moment I see him do the same thing, I knew that he didn't change, essentially, is what he said, right? The moment I see him have that really gross habit of pushing up his glasses like that, like, oh, this guy is he's still nuts. Like, he's still a danger, essentially. I also love, like, there's a little bit of back and forth that he has with the Malband brothers. And the Malband brothers, they're calling it a mutiny, and they're like, well, it's not really a mutiny. Sorry, they mentioned that it's not a mutiny because he hasn't been captain for a long time. And then he comes back and retorts and says it does. Then fine, I hired you guys, and I expect you to do this thing. You know, then let's make
it is
an
interesting.
employee.
Kuro kind of denies the captain title a little bit. He almost sees the logic of what they're getting at too.
Right, and he's like, fine then you are my employees. I hired you to do a certain thing, and you aren't doing it. And when if you don't do the thing that I'm asking you to do, I'm just going to kill everybody. Which is a fun little exchange of this whole situation. He's frightening still, right?
Yeah.
Like, he's frightening, he's fast. I would say this fight is really leading up to this idea of, like, they're showing off the power levels in such an interesting way. Never before has these big end of arc fights seemed more even, right? Where when we were talking about how Zoro's having a hard time, Zolo was having a hard time fighting against the Malband brothers with one sword, right? And they're like keeping up with him, and then this guy like instantly is better than these two guys, right? Instantly is better than these guys. You know, and it's a fun way of saying, oh, look at these power levels. He's kind of showing the audience of, like, this is going to be, like, different. Like, the ramp, the power levels here. The techniques.
Well, yeah, I mean, we always kind of, like, Zoro is very powerful, but we always kind of need a reason for Luffy, right?
Yeah. Yes.
That's kind of the thought. And so, like, if Zoro can deal with somebody, Luffy might as well stay asleep. You know what I mean? Like,
exactly.
And so, like, I mean, okay, we got a guy that can literally move and no one can see it. You know what I mean? Like, we need Luffy. You know, we need some help here. It's it didn't go into this, right? Like, we can't tell whether Captain Kuro has taken any devil fruit, right?
We haven't seen. Yeah, we haven't seen anything.
No. I mean, his ability does seem bordering on the mystical, and that's where my brain says, okay, someone's eating some fruit.
Yeah, someone ate some fruit. And then just another point that I wanted to chat about is I think Nami's so good. This is such a good Nami chapter. So cool. She's just She does what she says she was gonna do. She's gonna go kick the swords over to him. And she did it, and now she's like, I'm gonna go wake up Luffy. Like, it's just so. This is the most she can do in this fight, which is, you can argue the biggest part, like the biggest factor.
Oh yeah, no, and basically, like, it's kind of like if you can't use your biggest weapons, like, I mean, she's seen the logic of the situation, right? She knows what she needs to do.
Yeah, so it's fun, and I'm glad that she got a moment to shine. Like, everybody's kind of getting their. In this, at the size of this fight, I think everybody's getting their moment of like, this is a cool thing. Look at this person did, right?
Yeah.
Part of it. Was there anything else that kind of stood out with you in this particular chapter?
No. I just it feels like we've been at this cliff a long time. Is just another note that I wrote.
Yeah.
But it's cool. And they keep kind of throughout the chapters, we get different perspective shots of like the cliff, either from the top or from the bottom. It's not really a cliff. It's just like incline leading up to the. Where the level where the main town is going to be at later. It's just interesting to see it like, oh, we're still here, but like things have changed. Right now there's like a mast and Luffy's on the ground, right? And like, oh, no, Captain Kuro's here. It's just pretty impressive.
Yeah, no, I love it. All good. Good setting. Everybody knows important things of fighting games that people enjoy, but definitely notice when it's not good is the background stage. Settings of fights are important.
Indeed.
As we know. Let's get to the next section. It's going to be small probably this week because there wasn't much to laugh about. But let's talk about a joke. I have a joke. Let's go into
okay, well, you give me your single joke, and I can list through mine after that. I got a ton. No, I got a couple. Let's see what we got.
My only one is I really thought it was snarky and cute for him to go, first you knocked me off a cliff, and now you're kicking my swords, and then for her to say, no thank you then. Like, and then he does say thanks because it's still very freaking slick. She is so slick in this chapter. I think in general.
Oh yeah, no, I had that one on my list, and then kind of dovetailing off that right after, I think is the when she goes to then wake up Luffy just like him to sleep through a major crisis.
Oh yeah,
that's kind of becoming a character trait of like it's almost a requirement for the stories to progress in a way where the other characters matter. Luffy does need to be disabled for a certain period of time or preoccupied, lest everything just be solved very quickly. So that was a little bit funny.
It's what Aaron Sorkin says in screenwriting. You need to put a want for your characters and obstacles. Obviously, that's what Oda's doing, finding different obstacles to put in front of Luffy, which is in this one putting him asleep.
Luffy's want to wake up and help. Luffy's obstacle, he is asleep.
He is asleep. We get it.
I gotta tell you one more joke. I don't even know how joke like it is, but I just really liked when Butchie and Siam were going to take on Kuro. Django says, "Avast, Butchie, Siam, belay that." I just like the verbiage of belay that as a funny pirates term. Like, I think me and you need to start working in more like, Eric, wait, belay that. We got to do, the letters from port today before we get to the itinerary. Belay that last, funny phrase.
Yeah, there was a lot of, you just brought up a really good point. I did notice in this chapter a lot of pirate terms out of nowhere. A lot of like, we sent a mini crew down to see Davy Jones, which is like such also a very Earth reference, like our Earth reference.
No, some of those references would probably be interesting to check cross translation, because I bet some of them are Earth and maybe even a little English specific. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know if there is not a different sea term monster that is in more Japanese culture. You know what I mean? That might have been used instead of Davy Jones.
Right, dude.
But no, that's a good point.
There's just a lot, like, you brought up a good point. Like, but I definitely noticed that too. I was like, there's a lot of apparently maritime terms that I know, by the way, because I'm a semester.
All right, Eric. What is a scupper?
I don't need to answer that question, right? Who's leading this tour? All right, who's leading this tour? I'm sorry. And where are we going?
I didn't mean to say anything. Okay. I want a deuce box at the end of the day.
Do you have any other jokes? That's kind of like the only...
No, that was pretty much it. I had the one that you already had, and then I just like me some nautical terms. So with that, I think it's time to move right along into the panel.
What's in our Captain Coral brown bag this week against each other?
Oh,
look at that! I tie it back. I do that. It's a small thing.
Yeah. Oh no, definitely.
I can take the first swing because you led so much of the awesomeness.
All right. Eric's taking the first swing.
I'll take the first swing. And then, just to chat a little bit about this section at the panel battle. You guys get it. We're 30 chapters in at this point. But it's just a moment where Jacob and I skim, look, intensely dissect panels within this chapter. What chapter is this? Chapter 33 for this one, for example. And we choose our favorite panel. We throw it against each other, and we say, look how smart and how clever I am for choosing this panel. And look how dumb and not smart you are for choosing the panel you did. And then we expect you all to vote. Currently, me and Jacob are still at a tie. We're still tying. Except for the ones where we landed on the same panel, then I guess. Or the ones that we forfeit to each other. No one's keeping score. Not yet.
No.
But you all vote. You all disagree. Maybe you guys throw in your own panels. You can all do that by emailing us at grandlinetourist@gmail.com. Once again, that's grandlinetourist@gmail.com.
And don't send anything, whatever Eric has right here. I'm sure it's feeble. So, we definitely need you to write in with stuff that are, less feeble. Okay.
Feeble.
Oh, my goodness. Let's see what I just called feeble. Let's see. Oh, my goodness. Okay. This is very interesting. So,
did we do it?
No.
Did we do it again?
We'll see. We'll see if we did it again.
Star-crossed
right here.
Analyst.
Star-crossed panelist. That is pretty good. All right. We have I'll kill every last one of you with my own hands. And we have Captain Kuro at the top of the, the ramp leading up the cliff, which I was mentioning earlier. And it's actually, this is literally the shot that I was talking about, these perspective shots that show up in this chapter, showing us where everything is. And they're
just
so
reminding the audience of, this is where it's happening. This is the layout of the fight.
There's it's not just the layout. You got, history here. You got, Usopp, off to the left, still down, right? You have where Butchie did his pancake creation move, in the ground. You can see the cracks. You have the part of the ship that fell off way in the back, keeping Luffy down. And, just so much of the history of this fight exists in this panel. And you only know it if you've read up to this point.
It's also the history of the arc, right? Now, it's kind of like a fun little breakdown of, this is where the arc is. This one man, right? The will and the want of this one man, which is Captain Kuro, stands at the top. And these are all the things preventing his wants from coming up to where he's at, right? Literally standing there and in order from Usopp to Zolo to everybody being beat up in the back and probably to where the fight in the arc's going to end up. Luffy trapped underneath that giant cat.
No, this is a fantastic choice.
Yeah, so I just thought it's fun. I also love these things. And actually listening to you talk about it, that's why I chose this thing. Super dope.
No, it's very funny. It's very interesting because, this was in consideration as my top panel for mostly the entire chapter. And then I saw this panel that I'm going to send over real quick. And I thought, you know what? I feel like if I choose this panel, I'll have a better chance to align with Eric. I feel like this is more of an Eric panel to choose. And so I chose this one. Go ahead and describe what you're seeing. It's the top one.
Okay, this is... This is the Butchie after he's hypnotized. He goes boom, and the abs pop out of his fat stomach. Snap, snap. And then he's going roar. He has his fangs. He has some canines popping out. And he still has that.
I didn't know he has this X across his abs. That's from a slash he got earlier, right?
That's from the slash that he just got. He just received.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay. No, that makes sense. Because, because he needed to kind of be woke, get some more power. He's just on the ground. He just got hypnotized. Now, boom, back in it, regardless of this grievous injury he has.
Right. Yeah. So he's in it now. I like it. I do like it. But it can't beat this perspective shots.
No, it's funny. I think, my problem is I'm always a sucker for the perspective shots, and I don't want to get stale, I don't want to, I feel like I would always choose the panel that you chose this chapter. And so I'm like, you know what? I got to find some more things to appreciate in life. I got to find a large creature that's bulbous and look at their abs, I mean, that's different. That's different.
This guy.
That's important character growth for me on this podcast. I have an arc, Eric, and it's going to be from perspective shots to bulbous abs. That's my arc.
That's all it is, man. We're all pirates on our own journeys. That's what it is. All our journeys to life. Regardless, We need to decide a winner. I mean, we're not going to decide between the two of us. That's where the listeners comes in. That's where you guys come in. Email in, grandlinetourist.com. No. grandlinetourist@gmail.com. I forget the most important part of an email, which is the service. The name of the service that we are using to house these emails.
No, I haven't purchased grandlinetourist.com, the domain yet, but maybe that's something we should look into.
I'm pretty sure that's going to be somebody's website already.
Wait, okay.
Are we going to look it up?
For a second.
All right.
Just to see if it's even... I don't know. Grand Line Tourist. I don't think it's
I feel like that could be somebody's bad touring company already.
It says the site can't be reached. We might be able to nab this if we wanted to. I didn't go to a domain registrar. I just started typing it in. So someone still could own it and just not be running it. But it could be us. It could be us.
We
don't need this podcast to cost more to run. But hey,
unless somebody wants to just donate the website to us, that's cool.
Yeah. Donate it to us, or pop a Squarespace, give us some of that ad revenue, and maybe a free domain. We'll register.
Yeah. Okay. We're at that point. This has been one of those recordings. My mic fell in the beginning. We had some miscommunications. So obviously we have to end this.
I'm gonna vamp. So this has been one of those recordings where things just don't always go right. Sometimes you want to end with an onomatopoeia idea from your friend Eric, and he just happens to disconnect on you. And so you just vamp until he comes back. And I think the moment in which he comes back is near. Is it near? It is coming. Vamping, onomatopoeia idea. You better have a great onomatopoeia idea when he comes back.
I do.
I've been vamping for quite a while. Oh, he's got a good idea. Oh, that's good. That's good. I vamped the whole time, so we may not. I'm not going to even give myself extra editing. It's so good, the content that I provide.
What, you vamped the whole time?
I vamped the whole time, and I want to say I didn't just say vamp. It's close, but it's not quite there. So we're probably going to leave it in. So all right, come back.
This is one of those recordings. This is it, man. Okay, the onomatopoeia we're going to end on right now is the noise you hear when the pussyfoot maneuver takes place.
Oh,
ready? You ready, Jacob? I don't know if you have an idea.
I think I got this. It's in my head. I got it.
All right, here we go. The pussyfoot maneuver is about to take place in 3, 2,